Hey guys, Mumbles here with another New World video, and today we're going to go over my actual review in my final words of the beta. Now, I had like 200 hours into the beta, so I played a ton of it. I absolutely loved it. I had so much fun during this beta, and probably the most fun I've ever played out of any game, just with the community and how great the community was. But today, I'm going to go over 5 aspects of the game that I absolutely loved and give you my positives and negatives of those. And maybe this will kind of help you out on making your own decision of this game. Because honestly, I love this game. This game reignited my love for MMOs. And I hope this game also brings the same joy that it did to me to you guys as well. Because obviously, I want you guys to have fun while playing video games. And I want to kind of help you guys make that decision whether you want to jump on the boat or not. So here we go. I'm going to go over 5 aspects of the game just to kind of help you guys understand. And don't forget to drop a like if you like this video and comment down below what you guys thought, what your thoughts were of the beta if you played it, or what you're looking forward to the game if you're looking to buy it on release. But thank you guys. Let's stay tuned for some 5 aspects of the beta that I absolutely loved and give my positives and negatives of each. So the first aspect of the game that I'm going to really talk over is customer creation, which wasn't super involved. Pretty much you could choose your scars, the color of your hair, or whether you had face paint, a little bit of your body features as far as eyes and stuff like that. I would like to see a little bit more, I guess, body figure variation. I know it does come with a little bit of complex, I guess, clipping and stuff like that with armors and stuff like that. But it would like to see some body variety as well. I know a lot of games are doing this, so I would like to see this in there. However, it was very kind of simple and not overwhelming with how much you could change or being forced to change certain things. So having many of these kind of choices and stuff like that to differ your character was really nice. But I would like to see a little bit, maybe probably body variation at most. That's the only really negative I could choose a customer characterization. The next thing is going to be the class or weapon building. It's not necessarily, there's no specific class. It's actually a very unique system where you build stats. You have strength, intelligence, focus, constitution, and dexterity. And all these skills work towards certain parts of your, or certain weapons. For instance, strength does great axe, great hammer, or warhammer, sword and shield. Dexterity does stuff like spear, bow, musket, that kind of stuff. So this was a very unique way to kind of build your character in multi-class, per se. Like, if you build full strength, you could also get gear that gives you bonuses towards certain scores as well. So you could build full strength and use the warhammer, but a lot of people would also get gear that did focus so that you could use the life staff. And this made almost like a paladin kind of class kind of feel. Or you can go the straight ranger where you could run a lot of, I saw people running a sword without a shield, and a musket or a bow. A lot of people got really creative with this, and I hope this kind of expands when they start adding new weapons. I think it's gonna be a little bit of an interesting way to kind of go off of and make these kind of like multi-classes of different stuff. So I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. The only negatives are some of the bonuses for each level are kind of pointless. For instance, some harvesting stuff wasn't used that much. Like dexterities is tanning and skinning, and you really don't need much of that later in the game. So the bonuses were almost not existent. So maybe changing some of the bonuses for some of the levels, as well as scaling for some percentages were kind of leaned more towards certain stats. So like strength had a lot better buffs than like dexterity. Constitution had really, really good like bonuses for each level. So maybe balancing out those and giving dexterity that was kind of lacking, or intelligence that was kind of lacking, a little bit better of bonuses through the levels as well. So the PvP of this game, I'm going to go ahead and say that the PvP was super fun and dynamic. There was no negatives that I could really feel, besides maybe some of the weapon switching was a little bit glitched as far as switching between your weapons. Some weapons can switch between each other very, very easily. Other ones were extremely hard to switch between. So kind of balancing that aspect a little bit between using your abilities on one weapon and trying to switch over. Like hammer and ice gauntlet were super easy to switch between, so you could use the ice gauntlet ability and then switch to your hammer immediately, where the musket you would have to wait a whole 2 seconds to switch your weapon after using an ability. It was a lot harder to kind of deal with this kind of stuff, but didn't make that huge of an impact unless you're in a war scenario going into battle of multiple people. But as far as the scaling, where a level 60 does the same percentage of damage that as a level 10 will do to them. So that way you don't get level 60s going to the entry levels and just steamrolling PvP flagged people. This stops from farming PvP missions and stuff like that. So I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to go ahead and call out Summit 1G and Asmongold. I completely disagree with you guys, and no offense, but you guys have never said anything positive about any video game I have seen in quite some time. This game is absolutely fantastic, and if you don't like the combat, maybe it's not the game for you. I know you guys like World of Warcraft a lot. I did too. I didn't like the World of Warcraft combat of going in there and letting my passives and my abilities auto activate. So that was definitely one negative that I had of their words. Like, it's a dynamic combat. It's not a MMO where you just run in and let your guy do its thing. You actually have to think about dodging, stacking of your abilities, how to make your abilities mesh together to get the most damage out of your person. The war for PvP was incredibly fun. I love the war. 50 on 50, just fighting over a fort was just crazy fun. Super fun to work with 50 other people. Sitting all in a Discord was just crazy fun. I had a lot of fun with this. And I the only negative I really have about the war is, one, the offense gets to put turrets wherever they want, so they can put turrets right in front of your door, and it was a little bit laggy. But like, obviously, service stability, which will be fixed by release, I would assume. For the most part, the guns being able to be placed anywhere, maybe have zones where they can place it, so they can't place a turret or like a cannon right in front of the door and be able to shoot on the point, so that we can't retake the point. It's a little bit of a struggle with that part, but other than that, I had a ton of fun in war. I had the most fun I've ever played in a video game in war. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the PvP or PvE aspect. I love the PvE. Honestly, it was challenging. If you were the same level as your enemy and you were running in there, you actually had to be careful with how many mobs you're gonna aggro, because if you aggro too many, you were in trouble. There was not a time where I was like, oh, I'm gonna run into this level 30 when I'm level 30. I'm gonna run in there and just steamroll them and just get out. Like, I actually had to think about my health, think about my abilities. I had to think about stuff. It's not something where you just steamroll stuff. The other part of PvE is the expeditions. Expeditions were incredibly fun. I tried out quite a few of them. I think the only one I didn't try out was the top level one, because when I got to that point, I was already helping Smashley and Burke Black and Loken get ready for war that day, so I wasn't really able to go try out that last expedition. But for the most part, I had incredibly fun. Like, it was challenging, it was fun. The bosses, the mini bosses, was incredibly hard and super fun to fight against. If you weren't working together, you were having some trouble. And boy, there was times where we had a bad group and we couldn't get to the last boss. If you had like an okay group, you can get there and struggle with the boss. If you had a really good group, you had a challenge at the boss, which was nice. It meant that everyone had to try, otherwise everyone was there for no reason. So hopefully, the only thing I'd want with the expeditions is a little bit of more armor scaling. There was kind of pointless drops for the expeditions. I hope they buff these up a little bit. I don't think they're the rewards for the expeditions with actually being challenging, rather than most MMOs where they're not really challenging. This being a challenge, I would want a little bit more of a drop, like a more valuable drop. Not saying give me something overpowered, but just raise the gear score by 20 or 30 for an expedition, I think would fit very, very well. The only other thing I have to complain about the PvE is the retreating mechanic. So when you attack a animal or a creature and it gets within outside of a certain range, it's supposed to retreat, and at that point it restores full health immediately. I think that needs to be scaled down where they gain health over time, because if you want to go into battle with it, you now have to sit there and wait for yourself to heal, then go back and fight it. But because they fully re-healed, you can't just re-engage. So that is one of my complaints, and it was a little bit buggy. Like, you'd have some creatures follow you halfway across the map, and then you'd have some things like, I found this more particular in bears, where the bears would walk 10 meters away and then all of a sudden start retreating, and you barely attacked them. So I definitely think that needs to be worked on a little bit. I don't know if it's a bug or if it was intentional, but I think it needs to be a little bit more consistent against all mobs, because I feel like at least the humanoids would follow you 100 meters before they would turn around, where bears would walk 10 meters and be like, nope, I'm done. I'm not walking that much more. And re-heal, and then bears are a pain in the first place. Bears are challenging. Bears and alligators were challenging, and when they just retreat and instant gain health, it was kind of annoying. You could deal with it. It wasn't that bad. It's just something I think I want to be a little bit more consistent about. And the last thing we're going to talk about is honestly one of my most favorite things about this game that I didn't think was going to be my favorite was harvesting and crafting and kind of the market system. So the market in the economy is completely player driven. The harvesting and crafting directly fueled the economy. So I'm kind of curious how the economy is going to be outside of the beta, because obviously the beta, you know, it's going to get wiped. Your money doesn't matter to you that much. Your materials don't matter to you that much. A lot of people are just selling stuff for like high tier potions from opposite teams to try to make money off of them so that they can pay for their town taxes and stuff like that. Which I'll also we'll do a bonus thing with the economy, but for the most part, harvesting was super soothing. The sounds were great. They weren't annoying. There was also enough stuff around to find consistently, where a lot of MMOs make it super like scarce where you can't find it. You might find an iron node every 20-30 minutes where you can go to an area and mine iron. So yes, iron is used a lot more, but you find more of it, if that makes sense. The only complaint I do have about the crafting and harvesting system is mining felt a little too open. So you had iron immediately, and then you got silver at rank 10, and then you didn't get something until 45, when any other skill it goes 0, 30, 50. So I think lowering gold and maybe raising silver to 15 and lowering gold to like 40 or 35 will kind of make it more of progressional rather than having this big gap from rank 10 all the way up to rank 45. I think that needs to be a little bit more fixed and a little bit more balanced. I would just bring gold down to 35 or 40 and then bring silver up to 15 or 20, and that way you have a little bit less of a gap. Crafting all around was pretty darn good. The only complaint I have is, again, a couple things felt like they progressed very easily, and then other things felt like they were progressing extremely slow, even though I was like going out and trying to get materials for this. I felt like even when I was making those items, it was getting super, super slow. I think, again, some of those things need to be scaled a little bit differently, a little bit more equally throughout from 0 to 200. I think it needs to be a little bit more equal rather than having something at 1, then 15, and then 60. I think there needs to be a few more steps in there. Like alchemy is one where it went really slow. Tanning is something that went really slow. Anything to do with cloth, like making yarn or linen or making actual clothing, I feel like went really, really slow. But like engineering, smelting, armor crafting, that kind of stuff went super quick. So I think some things like that need to be balanced a little bit more. And so the last thing being, and this is kind of a bonus thing, it's gonna be like number 6, is the economy. I didn't think about this until when I started mentioning the market, but the economy is all player driven. In your faction, you can have a company, and that company can own a town if they go to war and win it. Now, with this, what this means is that town now can raise and drop taxes, as far as they also have to make money so that they can provide for the town and pay the town taxes and the town price, as well as paying for those upgrades, like upgrading the smelter, upgrading the forge, or upgrading the alchemy station, stuff like that. This stuff I think needs to have some sort of cap, because there were some towns, I mean, I guess they're going to learn their lesson when they raise taxes to 20% and no one buys their stuff, or they start moving out of town and stuff like that. I'll be curious to see what happens with that. I think that's going to be something that's going to have to be balanced over time. With caps and minimal stuff and maximum stuff, not just a max, but they also need to have a minimum as well. But yeah, so all in all, I absolutely love this game. I had so much fun playing it. All my friends did. It was super fun playing with so many big streamers and streamers, period. Being in a Discord call with 20 or 30 people all prepping for war, making sure everyone has materials, that kind of stuff was super, super fun. And again, all these people that are saying negative things about it, if you don't notice, they are partnered with another game. Don't listen to them. A lot of them have been negative since the start, and honestly, I barely saw them play the game in the first place. I don't know what negative they're saying, because honestly, like Asmongold, I didn't see him play much New World. I did a couple videos on it and just started coming with negative comments after negative comments after negative comments. Same thing with Summit 1G. He said the combat was boring. I've never had more fun combat than this in an MMO, and I'm sorry, but I had so much fun playing this. I definitely recommend it. See me, it's only $40 as well. A $40 MMO is great, and I know certain things that are coming when the game releases are going to make the game a lot more better, such as quality of life stuff. So I hope this kind of helps you guys make your decision whether you guys want to jump on the boat for New World and go to war with us, or maybe sit this one out and kind of see how it plays out and start. I really hope you guys give it a try because again, this is not I'm not paid by Amazon. I'm not paid by Amazon Games or New World or anybody. This is my wholehearted review of the game. I loved it. This reignited my love for MMOs. I mean, I tried to get back into World of Warcraft and I felt rushed trying to get to the new content. And then I also felt lost when I just did the auto level up thing. I got completely lost with that. I didn't like it. I'm not super excited with that part. When I went to go play Final Fantasy 14, I kind of just felt lost because the world and the lore and all that stuff was already pre-established, and I wasn't up to date with all the Final Fantasy games. So maybe if I went back through and played all the games, it would work out and I'd more understand the story. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Being in a new game with new independent lore was a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. And who knows, we may end up getting codes here because I am part of the creator program if you didn't know that. So we will be playing with a lot more creators, which I'm super excited for as well, to continue playing with the people that I was playing with before. So guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. See when we do go live. When this game comes out, we are going to be grinding this. We will still be going out with Tarkov content as well. Again, we'll do one video a week to start and just see where we're at with that. But I'm super excited about this. Super excited to see what happens, how the communities grow, the economy, what the economy is going to mean in a real non-wipe scenario like a beta. I'm curious how to see all that stuff works. So thank you guys for joining. Make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.